Now, without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to my friend Shannon Samulski from SIS for Teachers with her presentation, Solving Problems with the Mathmites for Mathvillle. Take it away, Shannon.
All right, how's everyone doing today? You guys excited for this week? I'm super excited to be here. I'll be here all week doing different sessions. One of the things I wanted to feature today was our new launch of our new product called Mathmites. There's kind of a poster for you guys to see over there, and we'll kind of look inside the poster to see what it looks like. My website is sis4teachers.org. If you're in the live audience, you guys have a free coupon for free shipping. If you type in Vegas in our store, you can get any of our products that we don't have here already at the conference sent to your home, and so we have lots of free resources on the website, and then if you have a Facebook account, you can join us on Strategic Intervention Solutions to like and kind of see all of our new stuff that's coming out. I want you guys to look at this problem really quick that these two kids are solving, and I want you to think to yourself what happens in your classroom. So when you see a simple problem of 62 minus 36, you have one student that gets the answer of 34, and you have another student that gets the answer of 26, and both kids do their math sheet and they turn it in and they don't think anything about it, right? When you ask the kids, what did you do when you were doing the math? Most kids say, well, I just subtracted. 2 minus 6 is 4. And what do you say to your kids all the time? No, you need to, don't subtract that way. You need to, we say a lot of things that we shouldn't say, like borrow, right? You're not really borrowing because you're not giving it back, right? And so when we look at these different strategies, this child here has used more of a compensation strategy where she shifted the number line, where this student here is really confused with all the procedures their teacher keeps telling them. And so we're in hundreds of classrooms every year coaching teachers with our math, and so many teachers are overwhelmed, by assessment, which is partly why ESGI is such a great product that you can really use for so many grades to kind of see where kids are in math. But then what do you do with that child that that is weak in a certain area? These are targeted interventions or instructional things that you can use with kids. And so when you ask a child how they do it, most kids just say it's because my teacher told me to do it this way. We want kids in the 21st century to be able to communicate their thinking. And so the Mathmites were designed, in fact, this is mini and subby, because in subtraction, the first number is the minuend, and the second number is the subtrahend, even though we don't know that, right? We say add in. So the idea here is that we want kids to be able to communicate their thinking. And so we've designed characters within Mathmites. And so the poster, actually, we have so many things hanging in our classrooms. Don't you agree? You have posters and eye charts and anchor charts. This is actually 8 posters in one that we've designed that it has a beginning side and an advanced side. So when we're doing number talks in classrooms in a 4th grade, they might not know more than one way to solve the problem. And so the Mathmites will provide a way that kids can learn the main characters that are in the Mathmites. And it's funny, in our schools that we trialed this out in, I'd be walking in the hall and they're like, Ms. Samulski, I want to tell you, I solved the problem with DC and I can do it with abacus. And they kind of get the idea of how the characters, how they live in Mathvillle and what they do. And so the kids, with just 6 characters for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, we can kind of get the idea. So if we look at addition, DC is the character that kids can relate to because he is a perfectionist. And I asked them, do they know anyone that's a perfectionist in their family, or perhaps their teacher? Likes things a certain way, but we also know people have temper tantrums. And so he has a big hard hat on, and he has a mallet, and he's kind of wanting to smash numbers. And so as he's in Mathvillle, he's walking around saying, look, I don't want any numbers that don't have friendly tens or decades or kind of friendly numbers. And so this is the advanced side of the poster, so if kids don't know this, we would flip it to the beginning side and do like an 8 plus 5. But on this side, it's showing, even if you do this strategy, 9/10 plus 5/10, you have 5/10, you can smash one side of it and create a 1, right? And so it's giving kids a common language, not just in your 1st grade classroom or your 2nd grade classroom, but it's a vertical zip from K all the way up to 5. And so most of us, we know 26 plus 8. What our kids do is 26, 27, 28, 29. They count up by ones. They're still doing that in 5th grade, aren't they? And so we want kids to say vocabulary like, nope, I decomposed the 8 into 4 and 4, right? And made that strategy. You and I learned fractions very differently. We did not learn how to decompose fractions. What's that mean, right? But when we look at 6/7 plus 5/7, my kids would say that they had 11/14. And you're like, no, don't add the denominators. Why? Just don't. Just put the 7 at the bottom. Don't worry about it, right? Kids don't really understand that they can actually decompose and bond to make a 1, right? So the DC character helps kids not only with adding small numbers, but they can learn it in 1st grade and then use that. So in our schools, kids have that same language that goes with it. This one here is Abacus. Abacus is a very magical kind of character who likes to zap numbers and zap them back, which is known in math as compensation. And so in younger grades, like first grade, we call it doubles plus one. And you say to your kids, honey, do doubles plus one. They're like, okay. They don't know what is doubles plus, what's a double? Oh, 3 and 3 is 6. Well, if I had 3 plus 4, do the doubles plus 1. Don't your kids look at you like you're crazy, right? So this is kind of getting the idea that they can zap a number, but you can compensate on both sides. You start to do that, then you can compensate with decimals, so it goes all the way up with the child, just depending on what grade they're in. The value pack character is a lot with partial sums and goes with place value strips, and is a really great way of decomposing by place value. So if I have a 2 on my belly and you have a 7, when we separate, I have a 20 on my belly and then you have a 7. And so these characters can decompose. We can also do this with decimal characters as well. And so the kids, once they get into 4th and 5th grade, their communicated thinking and the achievement scores in our schools are going up because of they kind of understand this concept. T-POPs is what our parents want our kids to do, because we do all this work at school. You take your kids home, and the parents are like, we don't do math that way, right? Just do it the way I learned. It's the best way. Stop doing all the ways your teacher's doing. So they kind of undo it. So I jokingly call their parents T-POPs. He's got a cane, bunny slippers, balding hair, some spectacles. And T-POPs knows that he's in Mathvillle, and he's been in Mathvillle for a really long time. But the idea here is that you can solve it with T-POPs as long as you can solve it with the other characters. So we use place value. We have a T-POPs place value mat that we're going to be using in a ton of my sessions today, where kids can use this mat to kind of help them with looking at the conceptual level of what they're doing while they're using it in place value, and then get an idea how to use these strategies in your classroom. We also have decimal discs that you can use to kind of do the same thing. So the poster kind of works in a 4-way idea, but the idea is, even without the poster, is to be able to have strategies that kids can relate to in your classroom and really do a great job with communicating their thinking. And so the one side of the beginning poster kind of flips like this, and then the other side is the advanced strategies that can be used with higher numbers. And then it kind of flips in sort of a fashion that it just, each one flips, but as you're flipping it, the other strategy comes up. So even though here on the screen you'll see them showing the strategy with the value pack, you can still see DC and you can still see Abacus as you're going. So the Mathmite download companion just launched a few weeks ago, where you do number talks in your classroom and kids say, me too, like I have the same way, but you don't really know if they know how to solve the problems. So our download that you can use with the Mathmites shows, like here, see if you can solve this problem with DC and you can do it with Abacus. So you kind of know where to drive your instruction. So the download features all the different types of pieces that you can put in it. There's review pages and lots of things that our teachers use kind of as exit tickets to see whether or not kids are getting it. And then my shirt today that I'm wearing is about our Deco Dots. We launched Deco Dots. It'll be the 3-year anniversary this year. We sold 10,000 decks of Deco Dots, because you know that kids are not going to add and subtract if they don't have numeracy skills. And so the Deco Dots is a really great feature that we talked about last year at the ESGI booth, about how to look at tons of games. And what I'm super excited about is our download just came out with game boards that have accountability sheets. They have challenge levels. And so the Deco Dots is a deck of cards that is really going to help kids. And so using ESGI to assess where your kids are, maybe you do one of the subitizing assessments from ESGI. Okay, I have this group of kids that doesn't have this math skill because of all my data printed out on ESGI that way. Okay, now you go back and then you're like, what do I do? The Deco Dots are all colored, so as soon as you know on your assessment where the kids are, you have it's kind of like an intervention in a basket ready to go there, and we're going to play this level of Deco Dots with subitizing, or the assessment came out, they're struggling with addition strategies, so I'm going to use the Mathmites addition strategies or the subtraction strategies. And so these products are really easy to use, but they're really help to kind of create that math language. And so Dotson is our new character that's joined Mathvillle and will hopefully help you out in your classroom. So we hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today, and I hope you visit the website at SIS for Teachers. And if you don't have ESGI software yet, I want you to just take a little time to review it and get an idea of how it can save you literally 400 hours in your classroom of all the assessments that we do as teachers. Thanks so much.